Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Becca and today's video is going to be all about what we eat as a plant-based family. I think it is such a fun game and I absolutely love nutrition. So I try with every meal to have a really nice balance of protein, whole foods, fat, and obviously a ton of carbs. If you're eating plant-based or vegan, it's a lot of carbs and I hate the carb phobia that is happening, but I'm not even gonna get into that. I love protein and I know that we get plenty of it. I track our food every once in a while and we get plenty of protein. And when we eat fats, we do use oil. I don't have much against it unless you're using a ton of it. Like, I know that it's a processed food, but we're not 100% non-processed, so it doesn't bother me. But I try to get obviously the whole fats like avocados and nuts and seeds. But for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I always try to have a meal that has some fat, some protein, and a lot of carbs. But obviously I try to make the carbs as unprocessed and whole as possible. So coming from produce and whole grains, not white processed grains. So for breakfast this morning, we had our smoothie. We absolutely love the smoothie. We have it at least 3 times a week. Sometimes we'll make it super healthy and have it for breakfast in the morning, or sometimes we'll make it more simply and just the delicious stuff and we'll have that as dessert after our dinner. Or sometimes if we don't feel like making dinner, we'll just make this smoothie and eat that. Like, we eat it all the time. It is so easy to make and it is absolutely incredibly delicious. And I feel like it's pretty healthy. Yes, you're taking some of the fiber out by blending it, but that also makes some of the nutrients more bioavailable. And I don't know, I feel like it's pretty healthy and we all love it, and it's a great way to get in nutrients that I would not have been getting in otherwise. The way that we make the smoothie makes a big smoothie for 2, and we actually pour some of it off for our baby and he drinks a small portion. So if you only want for 1 person, then have this recipe. So first step, you fill your blender up till the blades are covered with your plant milk of choice. So right now we're using organic soy milk. We try to buy organic, at least with the Dirty Dozen, or the ones that are notoriously bad. And I wish we could buy everything organic, but we are not at the point right now in our lives where we can. So, just do what you can. And then to the milk, we add a tablespoon of chia seeds, a tablespoon of flaxseed, 2 pitted juicy dates are the best, a teaspoon of spirulina, which we just bought on a whim and so we add it now, but it's not a necessity. A nice drizzle of vanilla. We do about a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses. I love blackstrap molasses because it has like 20% of your daily intake of iron and calcium, which are 2 of the harder things to get on a vegan plant-based diet. So pretty much with every single breakfast, I've just started adding it, and we actually love the flavor of it now. If we have oats, I'll add it to our oats and just mix it in. If we have pancakes or waffles or anything like that, I'll just add it into the batter. Or if we have a smoothie, we just add it in there too because you can't even taste it. So, a tablespoon of cocoa powder, and then 2 handfuls of peanuts. If you have frozen bananas, it makes it creamier. If you just have unfrozen ones, that works too. You can just add more ice if you want to try to make it thicker or creamier. 2 handfuls of spinach, and then 2 handfuls of ice. And then just blend it. It's so easy. A high power blender makes it so creamy and delicious. It is like ice cream and we love it. And sometimes we'll add frozen peas to it too, and that works. And if you want more protein, we have added a whole can of white beans and you can't even taste it. It's great knowing that I have like a whole cup of beans in my smoothie, a ton of protein, and it's no work to eat them. Our baby absolutely loves the smoothie, as we do too. Yeah, he will fight you if he sees you drinking a smoothie and you're not sharing. There you have it. Beautiful, delicious, healthy smoothie. I wanted to take a minute and just talk about what it means for us to be plant-based. So actually, a couple years ago, when I first started looking into everything, I decided that I was going 100% vegan, and I did that for a year and I loved it. Like, I did not miss anything, but then life got really crazy. Pandemic happened, I got pregnant, we kept moving across the country every 2 months, and so we just decided to not be super crazy about it. be a little more easygoing. And also living with other people, like it's incredibly hard and annoying and frustrating, and it didn't feel right to force other people that were being so generous with us and letting us live with them to feed us a certain way. So we eased back on the vegan, and we decided we were just gonna be plant-based until we had more control over our lives. We still don't eat any meat or meat-based products, but we have gotten a lot more relaxed on dairy and eggs and things like that. I 100% believe that 1,000 imperfect vegans are a lot better than one perfect vegan, and I'm never a person to criticize or judge other people, and every person is in a different situation. I would love to be able to even say that we are mostly vegan, but I know that people will get angry and criticize and jump down our throats. So I'm choosing to say plant-based. It also makes me really sad that people get so upset about the word vegan, and that if you say that you're vegan, you have to be 100% perfect. Why are we criticizing people that are trying their best? So I feel like I'm gonna keep slipping up because I still think of myself as vegan because that's how I mostly eat, but I should be saying plant-based because I know that people will take offense to that. So I'm gonna apologize once and then never again. Next up, we made spring rolls for lunch, and I love spring rolls. They're not a ton of work, but they're a little bit of work, only for the chopping. Once you have all your veggies prepped, it's so easy to make them, and then we just like to make them and eat them as we go. So this time we fried up a bunch of little tofu sticks, heated up our rice noodles, and then prepped our veggies. You can use any vegetables that you have on hand. So once you have all of your veggies prepped, it's really fast and simple. You get your container of big water. Usually we just use like a pot or something because it has to be big enough to fit the rice paper. You get it warm, you put the rice paper in until it's soft, you pick it up, and then you just roll everything into it. Yeah, just like this. You put your cucumbers, your bell peppers, your shredded cabbage, rice noodles, your spring mix, your avocado, your green onions, some Thai basil, and your tofu strips. And then you carefully roll it. Rolling it can be tricky, it is an art. Also, this is my husband rolling it, so if you want to make fun of anybody, make fun of him. And then you add it to your giant platter of spring rolls. This is our baby. We didn't want to feed him a bunch of raw vegetables that he can't eat very well, so we had some leftover squash and rice that we fed him while we made this. And then you dip it in your delicious sauce and enjoy. I forgot to film how to make the sauce. It's super easy. We don't really measure it. Just kind of dump it in a bowl. It's just peanut butter, fresh lime juice, fresh squoze lime juice, a little bit of sriracha, a sweetener, like maple syrup. And then you just mix it together and then lick it until you like it. And then you dip your spring roll in it. And honestly, I think the spring rolls are just a way to eat the sauce, so make sure you make a bunch of it. There's 4 reasons why I absolutely love being vegan, or mostly vegan, plant-based, whatever you want to call it. The first and foremost is for our health. I feel so amazing eating plant-based. I definitely believe that a lot of the health problems that America is facing right now is because of the way that we're eating. And if we just incorporated more fresh fruits and vegetables and clean sources of food, I think we would be in a lot better place right now. Number 2 reason is for the environment. I'm not even an expert on this, but everybody knows this for a fact. Factory farming is terrible for the environment, and I don't want to put my dollars to that cause. So I'm choosing to buy other options. I think that there's going to have to be a lot of reform in the next couple of decades on how we treat our planet, and this is one of the ways that I'm trying to help out. The third reason is definitely because I feel like it is so much cheaper. Now, some people will argue this up and down, but those are the people that buy 20 avocados and a ton of mock meats and all of the packaged vegan food, which we try to avoid most of the time. We buy mock meats and stuff like that like every once in a while, but that is definitely not like a staple in our diet at all. The things that we eat the most is fresh produce and beans and rice, grains, fresh fruit, and then canned and frozen food. And like those are all of the cheapest things, especially if you buy all of your fresh produce in season. Like those are the cheapest things that you can get, hands down. There's no question about it. The most expensive things on the grocery list are definitely the meats and the dairy and all that stuff. And then the processed junk food like chips and stuff. So like I said, the first reason was for health. We avoid most of the junky stuff and we're just buying all of the fresh and unprocessed stuff, and it saves so much money. And then the fourth reason, and this I always said was like never something that would make me go vegan, and it never was animal cruelty. I never really looked into it and I didn't care, and I was definitely one of those people that was like, well, they're here, we might as well eat them, and bacon tastes good. So when I went vegan for all my other reasons, I always just kind of lumped it in like, oh, it's an added bonus. We don't have to hurt animals. But after having watched some documentaries like Dominion, and after knowing what actually does happen in factory farms, not even to just the animals, the people that have to deal with those animals, I feel so badly for them. And by buying the pork and the bacon and the beef and buying into that industry that has to pay people to do that job, I don't feel comfortable doing that, and I never will. So I will never buy meat from a factory farm. It's that simple. Now, having said all of that, I don't have qualms with people that get their meat or animals from healthy, wholesome places. If you raise your own animals, like, that's amazing. If you buy from a local butcher where you know that they're treated fairly and you're getting like actually decent, non-antibiotic ridden, poorly grown up animals, then that's great for you. I'm glad you found something that works for you. But that is even more expensive than the crappy meat that you can get at the grocery store. So that was a super long tangent, but those are my 4 main reasons of why I chose to go vegan. Okay, our next meal is an absolute favorite meal of ours as well. It's our red lentil dhal. It is so incredibly good. We make a ton of it so then we can have lots of leftovers, and it makes it super easy. The leftovers are even better than the original day. And I just feel like it's so healthy. It has a lot of good protein. It has a lot of good fat from the full fat coconut milk, and it has a lot of just vegetables and fiber and everything good that you can want in a meal. So first up, you just prep your onion. Just dice like half an onion. Next, dice up your ginger, just a nice little knob of it. And then we do about 7 potatoes. Sometimes we use white potatoes or russet, whatever they're called. This day we only have red potatoes, so we use those. They all work. We also love adding cauliflower, so just get about half of a head of cauliflower, and then I just rip it into little bite-sized pieces because I can't be bothered to cut it up with a knife. It works really well. It's really easy. To your large pan, add your oil and then your onions and saute that until they're getting translucent. Then add your garlic and then add all of your spices. We like a ton of spices, so it's a tablespoon of garam masala, cumin, turmeric, and curry powder. And then add your potatoes until they're coated, and then add your can of tomatoes. And then stir it to deglaze the pan. And then you can add your ginger really at any point. I'm not an expert on ginger. I think it's delicious. Then add 2 cups of your veggie broth. Make sure that you stir the bouillon in. And then we do a cup of rinsed red lentils. I always make sure to rinse it. The water that comes off of it is so cloudy and weird. I just really like to thoroughly rinse it before we add it to our food. And then add a full can of full fat coconut milk. Stir it in and enjoy the beautiful art that is happening before your eyes. And then here's where I add a teaspoon of salt. Let it come to a bubbling boil. And then you can add your cauliflower. I like to add some red hot chili flakes. And then you cover it. Bring it down to a gentle simmer and let it go for about 20 minutes. You know that it's done when the potatoes are super soft and perfect. Go ahead and turn it off, and then add a couple handfuls of chopped spinach and add a squirt of lime and stir. And then serve it over your delicious basmati rice. And then we like to top it with a little bit of cilantro. Honestly, this meal is so good. I love it. I like crave it. We eat it probably once a week. So this is what a typical day in our life looks like eating wise. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked the video, then you can hit the like button. If you want to keep up to date with our story, then you can hit the subscribe button. The next video that is actually going to be put out, we will be in New Zealand at that point. So it is finally happening. From the posting of this video, we are 3 days from flying to New Zealand, and it's kind of insane how scared we are. Like, we've had over a year to prepare for this, and the whole time we've just been complaining about how long it's been feeling. But of course, now that it's here, how? I don't even know. Whew. Yeah, it's big, and it's finally happening, and we are so excited. So if you want to follow along with that, then you can hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in New Zealand.